Would you like to support the Insiders? Pick up some merch now. Support us by getting a shirt, a hoodie, support Abby's window, get a Shenanigans shirt, whatever you'd like. Pick up some merch now. Insiders Pro Wrestling. The link is at the end of the video.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to all of you for our latest edition of Between the Ropes. I am here buried under mounds and mounds of snow in the mountains. And, you know, it's great to be back here. We haven't done this show in a little while. Welcome into the show. And you know what? I'm going to quote a little Cody Rhodes and say, what do you guys want to talk about tonight here on the show? Because you know, we're going to probably be doing a lot of talking about one Mr. Rhodes this evening. Jeff, it's been a while, and we've got a lot of stuff to catch up on this episode of Between the Ropes.
Yeah, we do. There's a lot to talk about. A lot has happened since we've last done this show. But yeah, a lot to talk about as always with this show. And yeah, I'm sorry that you're buried under all of that snow. I will say that we've been pretty fortunate here this year. We haven't gotten anything too terrible, but yeah, that stinks. Hopefully it's gone and out of the way soon.
Man, dude, I'm glad it's almost the end of February and there's really only, I mean, you know, we have unluckily had some winters that went into April, and I'm hoping this is not one of them. But you know, yeah, we have not had like it was just one of those situations where it was the perfect storm, like literally, where we were just in the crosshairs of both of the storms where we were. Now, it's not surprising because we're in the mountains, so you know, highest elevation in the state as far as the city goes. And so it's not surprising that it did that, but just, you know, when I woke up on, I think it was Tuesday morning, and I mean, I had already known there was no way I was making it into work, anything like that, because I knew with the forecast. But dude, when I got up and I saw, like, because you can go out, you can look on your porch about the snow that, you know, the snow that hasn't been disturbed at all, or you look at the top of your car, and I saw like I'm like, oh God. you just look at that and you know you've got a day job ahead of you, because you're out there all day gonna be, and not, you know, the road we live on, the plow goes right down the center of the street. You have to park on one particular side, which was by our house. Now you would think that it's beneficial. Well, it's really not, because when we dig the cars out, we have to throw the snow somewhere, and we're not going to throw it all back in the side of our house. So we're literally taking it and carrying the shovels and throwing it across the street where there's kind of a field over there. Oh my God, what a nightmare. The plow had us buried up to our windows of the car. So they were literally up to almost the top of the passenger side window as far as the snow goes. And so it's not even easy to shovel because you have to be careful you don't hit the car at that point when you're, when you're pulling that away. But oh my God, what a disaster. Then we got another 6 inches, 5.5, 6 inches, I think, Friday night into Saturday. It's crazy, dude. We had like almost 20 inches of snow in 3 days, 4 days, and that is honestly the most snow we've seen in years, like a long time here. Our winters have been pretty mild. I kind of knew we were due. We were gonna get one, and but I didn't think it would be that way. But man, I'm glad you're not getting it because you got some good stuff. I think was it last year? I think you got yeah.
And the year before we got pretty good. We got some pretty good snow.
Yeah,
So
see, we avoided it. It all comes around. You can only avoid it so much. And I know a little bit about weather because I took a meteorology class when I was in college, so I studied it for a semester. And I know that whenever they say La Nina and El Nino, that's when you got to be concerned. La Nina is usually very mild here. El Nino winters are usually very, very brutal because it just comes right up the coast of the United States, and that's where all the storms seem to go. And that's when you get those big nor'easters and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, so I kind of figured, yeah, we're in for it. But anyway, I'm glad to be here tonight. Get away from all the doldrums of the weather and all that happy business, and talk some pro wrestling with all of you guys. But first, before we get into it, we'll go over our schedule a little bit. So for this coming week, we will have Abby's, I would assume, Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll keep you posted, obviously. I know Jody's going to be on another show. She shared it, I believe. So check that out. She's going to be on another podcast. The name escapes me at the top of my head, but she's going to be on a podcast. So check that out. And then we will be back, obviously, Thursday for TNA Wrestling. And we have a pay-per-view, guys. TNA pay-per-view is this coming Friday already. So that's awesome. So we will definitely be doing that. We'll be there for that pay-per-view on Friday, probably a 7:30 start time for that. And remember, TNA, we are starting at 8 o'clock from now on going forward, unless they change something, because there's really no reason to start it early anymore. There's no there's no BTI anymore. So we will be changing that time as we did last week to 8 o'clock. But if you weren't there this past Thursday, just make sure that you hit the notification bell so you know. But yeah, we will be doing that starting at 8 o'clock. And then next Sunday, I don't think there's any wrestling going on. Is next Sunday, right? I don't think so. Or next Sunday. I don't think so, because the Chamber is when? 2 weeks from today? Or is it not
Saturday? No, it's Saturday.
Oh, Chamber is this coming Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay. All
I'm
right.
pretty sure it's the 24th. Yeah.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine the people that are going to watch that in the United States? Like the folks that are going to come watch the TNA show with us. Yeah, we'll be doing that we'll probably be there from like 8 to 11 usually, right? And then the Chamber will start in like an hour or two, and they'll just have to stay up the entire time if they get to screw that. I'm watching the Chamber later. There's no way in hell I'm staying up for that. I've got work the next day. It's like, nope, I'm going to be relaxing and watching it when I come home, and I'll just have to avoid spoilers. So the Chamber will be Saturday. For those of you who are awake enough, we'll have another one of these next Sunday, and we'll wrap all that up, and we'll talk about the Chamber, and we'll talk about everything that happened there, and obviously the TNA pay-per-view as well. So that is our schedule. You will see Jeff made a little bit of changes for tonight's show. You'll see as we go along. One of our no sell or no sell segments is going to be fan involved, so community involved, actually. So you guys can get involved with that segment. So that's kind of fun. That's kind of cool. So you will see that tonight make its debut. All right, let me welcome some folks in, and we'll get started because we got a lot of stuff going on. So we have Brandon Wayne Lewis is here. DRO is here. James Grant, Derek Fleming, Clown, Jeremy Dunderman, a member of the channel. Welcome in, Jeremy. Thank you for supporting our show. We appreciate it. We've got James Chadwick in the house. What's up, James? We've got Christopher here. We've got Dylan. We have Big Dan is here. What's up, Big Dan? We've got, I think I hit on that one. Yes, we've got Marvin. What's up, Marvin? We have Brandon is here. What's up, Brandon? How are you? We have Bonkers LFC. We have Swack Fan. We have John G. We have Damian Robinson. What's up, Damian? How are you doing? We've got Conrad is here. Conrad's got a lot of stuff going on his show.
Yeah.
We shared a few things. Talking to, correct me if I'm wrong, a developer for the 2K24. Yes, is that what I read? That he was that you're talking to, doing interviews and stuff. That's awesome, dude. Very, very cool. So make sure
Cool.
I did share it on Twitter, so make sure you check that out. Doing some cool stuff there with the video games. Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809 is here. We have got Kaylee. Hello, Kaylee from Twitch. How are you? We've got let me see if I missed anybody. C Wrestling's here. What's up, C? I love that kind of snow. We get a gentle dusting that barely covers anything in the entire country. That's like the South here. I mean, Jeff could speak to that too. I've got relatives that live in South Carolina. If they get an inch, the whole place shuts down. They don't know how to yep, they don't know how to drive in it. They don't have snow plows. It's like, yep, nope.
A threat of sleet shuts down school districts.
Yep, I can
see
that.
Not a joke. Not a joke.
I can see that. Yep, absolutely. Jason Peace is here. Hey, Jason. Yeah, it's been a little while. Daniel's son is here. Hello to you. Barry Monkey from Twitch is here. Hassan is here. Deanna is here. What's up, Deanna? How are you? Wes is here. A lot of familiar names I'm seeing tonight that I haven't seen in a little while. Welcome. Mark is here, of course, from Facebook. Damon Robinson. I think I saw. Did I miss Derek? I could swear I saw Derek's name pop in there. I could be wrong. Conrad, thank you. I just wanted to make sure I got that. I got that right. That's awesome. Very cool. Michael King is here. Ryan Neeson is here, and I think we are caught up. All right. So we're caught up on all that kind of stuff. And Jeff, I mean, we better dig in because we've got a smorgasbord of stuff to talk about tonight. So
yeah, it's a lot to get into.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, we'll
so let's start out. Let's get going here. We've got breaking news. Oh, there we go. Oh, am I bouncing on and off again here? Am I good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. I lost me there for a second, or I lost me. You got me. There you go. There's Derek. I knew I saw your name in there somewhere. All right. So breaking news. I mean, there were wrestling shows I know over the weekend. James Chadwick was talking about MLW and stuff like that, saying it was really good. You're going to see a lot of these wrestling shows start popping up little by little. There's going to be some, I think, I want to say too, I saw Sami Callihan on his Twitter talking about Wrestling Revolver and how they have a really nice crowd. I think you were saying over 1,000 people going to see that. So that's awesome. And if I'm not mistaken, Elias, yes, is part of that too. Or he was with them, yeah. So there you go. Rev Pro today. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on. We're getting close to that time of the year, that season of the year with WrestleMania and everything like that happening, and we're getting close to all of that coming up. So you're going to start seeing a lot of these small wrestling promos popping up all over the place and doing shows. So yeah, that's awesome. Revolver was brilliant last night. Awesome. Tell me who I didn't get to see it. So who did Sammy wrestle? And if so, who did he wrestle? I'm curious to know. Obviously, you look for a lot of your favorites and some of the bigger names that are out there that are now with these companies. So yeah, let me know who they wrestled on the show. I didn't get to see it. Everything pro wrestling. Quick question. I know the guys say you do AEW. Do you actually AEW wrestling streams and review streams, or just one or the other? Conrad does reviews of the shows, if I'm not mistaken. That's he is, of course, known for that. I know we always share those. He does those after the shows go off the air. So I don't think he does watch alongs per se, but he does. He does reviews of the show afterwards. So Elijah beat up Mike Bailey. Speedball Mike Bailey?
Yeah.
No, he beat up. Oh, that's not smart. Mike Bailey versus Elias. That's awesome. Sammy didn't wrestle. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I guess I kind of maybe like that then. Mike Bailey and Elias, maybe they're kind of getting that, maybe ready for somewhere else. Maybe we have TNA get involved on that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Right.
But it's Jeff. It's a good time, Jeff, to be a wrestling fan for more reasons than one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. And honestly, we say this here quite often, but I want to reiterate it to drive the point home even further. If you can't find something to enjoy as a wrestling fan in 2024, that is a you problem.
I'll say
You need to figure it out. You talk to whoever you need to talk to because that's your problem. There's something good in all these companies. I feel like everyone is really hitting their stride, and this year might even be better than last, which is saying a lot. But I mean, there's just so much good wrestling on, and I'm not just talking about the major companies. I'm talking about all of the independent promotions. I mean, there's just so much. So definitely, great time to be a wrestling fan. Now, I will say this because there was a wrestling show last night, basically in my backyard,
in
where
Albany.
and Velveteen Dream, a name that had been kind of kept behind the scenes for a while, and until recently we hadn't heard anything from him. And then he did the interview with Chris Van Vliet,
The
and
apology thing, and
and he showed up last night at a show in Albany. So I've seen the articles make their rounds today, which I figured they would, but that was breaking as of last night. So
okay, Jeff with some breaking news close to home.
Yeah.
That's in the world of wrestling and in professional sports, a lot of people make mistakes. A lot of people do dumb things, horrible, some horrible things. I mean, look at what Hulk Hogan's done, and just to name a few. But one of the things that people tend to do is they kind of tend to, especially if the person is kind of out of the limelight for a while, they tend to forgive people, especially, and I think that's because as a species, we're generally, now there are some people who are hateful, but I think we're, as a species, as a human race, we're generally kind-hearted, and we want to think the best of people, and so we tend to forgive. And so I wouldn't doubt that somewhere down the road, and like I said, even as more time goes by and the person isn't around and stuff like that a lot, you tend to kind of get over the anger and people forgive. It's just how it goes. So we'll see. Does he have a future in wrestling? That I can't answer, because that's going to be up to the promoters and the wrestling companies and what they want to deal with. So nor am I going to sit here and say whether I think he did anything, or that's for the courts to decide. But yeah, look, to Jeff's point, this is a great time of the year for wrestling, right? And not just WWE because of WrestleMania. And I've got to tell you, I've been watching other shows as well. I've been watching a little more AEW than I usually do, because now is a time for me where I don't have a lot going on. There's not a lot of stuff on TV that I like to watch and things like that. So a lot of the series that I watch aren't going on now. But yeah, and I'm seeing some good stuff. So like Jeff said, this, and you know what I do like? On Twitter recently. I haven't seen ever since the Cody thing kind of turned around. Now that was bad. That was horrific during that few days or weeks or however long that was. But ever since that kind of turned around, I'm not seeing as much drama. I'm not, and I'm knock on press board, but I'm not seeing as much drama out there, which is wonderful. It's like the sky parted and the sun came through, and it's amazing. And this is how it should be. This is what we preach on the show. This is what we're proud of that we do. And it really should be this way. You really should just be able to just go watch a show that you like. It doesn't matter what it is, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, whatever it is, it doesn't matter because you're seeing some good wrestling. Like Jeff said, there's a good smattering of people around now, not just languishing in a company where they're not getting any airtime or anything like that. They're now in other places where they can showcase their talents. They're happy because of that. I absolutely love that. And Jeff, I truly hope that, listen, I know there's always going to be the ones that we're going to talk about in airing of grievances on our show because it just is. But I'm grateful when something like this happens. And when you see, people just generally being positive about this sport that we talk about on the show.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to something like wrestling and something that's supposed to be fun and for our entertainment, and to get to the point where people take it to a place where they're sending death threats and doing all these ridiculous things because of storyline. It's just sad, and it's one of the reasons why I walked away from X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, because it's just toxic, and that stuff can really play on someone's mental health. So, it's kind of what I'm going to talk about a little bit in my grievance, um, but yeah, I'm glad that things have seemed to settle down. In terms of Velveteen Dream, I mean, when it comes down to it, with a lot of these companies, it's really about how much bad press is it going to get them if they end up signing him. How much damage is it going to do from a PR standpoint, and do we have the infrastructure to be able to withstand any negative PR or negative press that we get? So it's really going to come down to that. Um, I mean, I'm not here to say whether he did or didn't do anything. I don't know. That's for the court systems, and hopefully, those who went through what they did, hopefully they receive justice for what they went through. But I will say that, going back to what we were talking about in terms of just it being a good time for wrestling, this is why it's so important for everyone to be at the top of their game, because it pushes everyone else.
Yep.
It's like a chain reaction. You get one show doing something different and cool, and they're starting to make a little noise, and then all of a sudden you notice another company does the same thing, and then another, and then before you know it, you've got some really good stuff to watch across the board. So again, if you can't enjoy it, that's a you problem.
Yeah, I agree. One little quick note, and this is completely off topic. I think we're like 13 subs away from 4K. So please sub if you haven't done so already. I always forget about this. I talk about it at the start of the show. But please sub if you haven't done so already. Please share the video too, maybe with somebody who hasn't, and get us to that 4K because we're so close. It's like the so close you can taste it thing. So please make sure you do. Also, make sure you drop a like, of course, on the video tonight as well. But yeah, I always keep forgetting about how close we are to 4K. But please, and I'm sure we probably may get it on the pay-per-view this coming Friday. We tend to get a lot of that, new subs and stuff on the pay-per-view. But if we get that close and that good start, we should have it. So thank you to all of you, obviously, for subbing that already have and that join us for this show. All right, so that's the breaking news. We are going to move on. Jeff, what is our first topic of
All
the
right. Well, I mean, we might as well start out hot. So, we're going to talk a little bit about WrestleMania starting to take shape, Joe.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. I mean, guys, look, first off, I'm going to say this. Uh about the Rock stuff and the Cody stuff and the Roman stuff, I'm going to say this. They got you. They got you. All of you. They got you. Now, you may argue, and look, maybe we'll do a little bit of that on this too, but the whole argument is there that people are saying that that it was changed. That the plan was, now look, the plans have changed because it was supposed to be Cody Roman, and then it was supposed to be Seth and CM Punk. Well, of course, that changed. The news out there is that The Rock came into play because he said, okay, obviously CM Punk isn't going to make it. Let's change this up, and I'm available if you need me. And supposedly, this is all hearsay. Nobody was there to hear this happen, so obviously nobody can prove it. But everybody went crazy. The Rock appeared on, and this is what makes me believe that The Rock appeared on Pat McAfee's show. The Rock put out the Cody Crybabies thing, the hashtag Cody Crybabies, and then that just made it even worse. And then The Rock's getting booed out of the building now, and Cody Crybabies is trending, and then this happened, right? This right in front of you on the screen, the press conference. And that's when it was announced, of course, to everyone's happiness, that Cody Rhodes was going to take his spot, and he was going to use, he won the Rumble. That's his right. And he stepped up and he said, no, it's not going to be Rock versus Roman. It's going to be me. I'm taking my rightful place because I won the Royal Rumble. And then he got slapped for it because he talked about, of course, their family, and the slap heard around the world and all that kind of stuff. But I got to say this, like him or hate him, and I don't know too many people who hate him, you got to hand it to The Rock, man. That man is one of the most beloved wrestlers in all of wrestling. He's a Mount Rushmore wrestler. There is no doubt. Everyone loves the dude. Even when he walked onto SmackDown, the crowd was going bananas when his theme song played, and they were chanting Rocky. Until he started in the ring, and he is playing the heel extremely well. One of the few people who can do as good of a job that he is doing. A lot of times you can't see people just turn on a dime like that, especially when he lives his life that way. He's not that kind of a guy in real life, and to do what he's doing, and I'll be honest, and Jeff, you can tell me when I'm done. He made Roman look kind of small. Like Roman kind of stood off in the background and just let him do his thing. And I don't think I've ever remembered seeing that during this whole bloodline thing. When Roman's out there, it's like E.F. Hutton from years ago. When Roman talks, people listen, boo him or not. But he made Roman look small, which is very interesting to me because of where this may go. And we'll probably talk about that too, because so many people think that Cody is going to end the bloodline. I'm not so sure now. I'm not so sure, because yes, he'll win the title from Roman, but I don't know that there may be another match in Roman's future where we might end up just sticking for Roman in that match, which is really, really crazy if that's the way they go with this. But look, guys, this is just going to be beautiful. Everybody's going to, the speculation now, Jeff, is where do they go? And you were talking about WrestleMania. So obviously we know the setup, right? We know it's going to be Cody and Roman. That's going to be your main event. That's the big one on night 2. But The Rock came out and said he's going to do everything in his power to stop Cody Rhodes from winning the title. Well, what does that mean? Rock is on the board, right? So does he make Cody wrestle twice, aka Daniel Bryan? Does he say, You're getting me on night 1, and then you get Roman on night 2. So does that happen? Or is Rock just going to be out at ringside where, Roman always wins because of the outside interference? We know that. Now, Seth Rollins works his way into the equation on Monday Night Raw and tells Cody that he's got his back. So will it be Rock and Seth? Some are saying now, but it can't be, because Seth is going to have to wrestle somebody who wins the Elimination Chamber. So this is going to keep everybody guessing until the last minute. And I can tell you, just be prepared. Be prepared for WrestleMania Night 2, because your heart is going to stop several times during that match, because you're going to say, and I can guarantee you, and I can probably bet you I will at some point too, but I can guarantee you during that match, you're going to say, oh no, don't tell me he's going to lose. Don't tell me he's going to lose. I highly doubt they will do that. Now, who knows, right? Who knows, because I'm not writing for them, and so what I say doesn't matter. I highly doubt they will do that, because especially in Philadelphia. You don't want to cause ruckus there, because, boy, that city will burn. I'm just telling you. That city will burn down to the ground. So they don't want to do that. So I really don't think so. But I think now during this match, they're going to put the fear of God into everybody's mind, wondering whether or not he is actually going to win this match and overcome every objection possible, including The Rock, including Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, Paul Heyman, a referee being knocked out, because I guarantee that's going to happen. And I don't know, maybe the referee gets knocked out. Maybe The Rock's got a referee shirt on and he takes off his shirt and he becomes the referee. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm just telling you, get your nails ready, because you're going to be biting them off during that match, because it's going to be insane. But the payoff is going to be freaking amazing. They're saying this could be one of the best WrestleManias of all time, and I don't doubt it, especially with the finish that this is going to lead to. But what a great story, Jeff. And that's not even to mention, on your sign you had out earlier, what's going on with Rhea? Are we going to get Rhea and Becky? It kind of maybe is looking like that. That's going to be an absolutely tremendous match, right? We've got Bayley and Rio, and all that Bayley's going to have to overcome, and possibly they're not kidding when they're saying this could be one of the best WrestleManias ever. The storylines they have working now are absolutely tremendous. This is going to be a fun ride, man. And we've only got another month to go or so. These next 3-4 weeks are going to be amazing. And, it's a must-see TV, Jeff. It's must-see TV now. You can't miss an episode of Raw or SmackDown because of what could happen with this whole story with Cody and Rock and Roman. It's must-see TV.
It is. And I guess I'll reverse engineer it. I think we're going to see two things happen at WrestleMania. I think on one hand, we've got Seth playing Cody. And I think on the other hand, we have The Rock playing Roman. I think it could be possible that Seth tries to screw Cody over and The Rock maybe makes a save on Cody's behalf.
Interesting. Okay.
Just gonna throw that out there. Now, I don't know anything, but I love where this story is right now. And we might as well get to the next one here, Joe, because we've been talking about it. So we might as well get to it. Thoughts on Cody's decision and the fan reaction. Now, I guess I'm different than most when it comes to wrestling storylines, and I'm one of those. I'm gonna let it play out and see what happens. especially if I'm introduced to an idea for the first time. Um, like I didn't feel like Cody was just giving up his spot. I felt like most of this has been done to elevate Cody even higher. And The Rock being involved in Cody's story makes that story, as Joe said, must see TV. Every time they're on, you have to see what's this next chapter going to be like. What's coming up with this, because I got to know. They're drawing us all in. They 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 got a lot of fans with Cody's giving up his spot. They got us with that.
Yep.
And then they said, all right, now let's make this thing even bigger. And can you imagine The Rock helping out Cody to defeat his cousin? What does that do to that storyline? Has that been the plan all along?
Mm-hmm.
And Roman does have a history of getting that proverbial knife in the back. I mean, think about Seth. So again, I really like where they have this story. Is if we get the payoff that we're thinking, which I think at this point most people are thinking is going to be Cody defeating Roman.
Yep.
If we get that finish, it's going to be one of the biggest and best babyface overcoming odds stories that you've seen.
No doubt.
I mean, it's just I'm loving what they're doing, and then that's just this storyline. That's not even everything else that they have going right now. So
yeah, dude,
so much stuff going.
There's so many things I love about this. One of the major ones is I love how they're playing on fans' fears, because what is one of the things everyone always associates with WWE, that the minute Cody said, I'm relinquishing to The Rock. Not relinquish isn't the right word, but I'm stepping back for The Rock. What's one of the things all WWE's, the fans and the naysayers and everything started to think? Here we go again. Every single time at a WrestleMania, these veterans come back and they ruin stuff. They come back and do you not think that they know that? Do you not think that Triple H knows that and maybe it was Vince that wanted to do this, right? The whole break glass and call the Undertaker thing, the whole bring in Goldberg thing, that seemed to be Vince's thing. He loved doing that, right? And whenever that happened, the person who was up there that should have been pushed got pushed to the back because he wanted the attraction over what the fans wanted. He wanted the money that name was going to bring over what the fans wanted to do, aka Bray Wyatt and Goldberg, right? And where did that get them? And now, what do? They go right back to that storyline and make everybody think, oh, God, not again.
It's going to happen.
Yep, not again. They're going to have another veteran come in The Rock. He's going to take his place, and he's going to either win the title, lose the title, whatever the case might be, and it ruins everything. They know all this. The writers know this, and they're playing off of it, which is brilliant. Brilliant. The other thing I wanted to say was brilliant, that press conference. And I'm not a big boxing fan or MMA fan, but guys, if you are, you got to have loved that, because they put on a show that is exactly like a lot of those big time fights in MMA and boxing end up being like. How many times do you see those are big, the weigh-ins and stuff like that, and the boxers want to start fighting each other at these events, and one of them might smack the other one or something like that? They did that almost to a T, like something you would see in Las Vegas for a big fight, a big name fight. And that was brilliant too. And even in movies, how many, I'm assuming most, if not all of you people have seen one of the Rocky films. If you've seen that, the press conferences between Rocky and Apollo Creed and how they go. It's the same damn thing. They took it right from the pages of that kind of stuff and they ran with it. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So kudos to them. You, like I said, they made this must watch. You can't miss an episode with Cody Rhodes. And as far as what the future is going to be, we can speculate about who is going to be Cody's opponents, right? Because obviously now you're going to have a face as a champion of the show. I don't know what's going to happen. I would imagine, if I had to predict, I would think Cody might go to SmackDown, because once Roman loses that, right, that's now that was SmackDown's title. So I would kind of think Cody will go to SmackDown. And then you'll have somebody over on Raw as the champion there. Seth is the only thing I think that's I think kind of guaranteed is that Seth's going to take some time off. So whether Gunther beats him, whether Drew, I don't know. You know, I kind of thought Drew was going to be, or with Gunther might be the guy. I don't think so anymore. I think it's really looking like it's going to be Drew McIntyre. That's going to be the one that beats Seth. And no offense at all to Gunther. I love Gunther. I think he's a tremendous wrestler, but Drew just has a little more charisma and a little more of that attraction, right? That he can have on that show. So I think that's what may happen. But then you wonder, okay, who are going to be Cody's opponents? Is he going to get ramification from the bloodline? Is he going to be fighting a Solo Sikoa? Is he going to be fighting Jimmy then? You know, some ramifications of beating Roman. Is that what he's got coming up? Could be. But who are some of the other people that he might go up against? But this is far in the future. The present is here. This is tremendous. And guys, all I'm going to say is enjoy it. Enjoy the ride, because this is going to be an absolute blast. You have one of the, like Jeff mentioned, one of the biggest baby faces right now in all of wrestling, if not the biggest. And you have one of the best guys ever to work a microphone in professional wrestling history, who is now going back to playing a heel that he wasn't since the 90s. It's freaking amazing, guys. Enjoy it. It's going to be awesome. And enjoy these next several weeks. And Mania is going to be a blast. We're just touching on this, and this is the main event, but I don't know, man. Mania is shaping up to be an absolute blast. So enjoy it, guys. It's gonna be a ball, and I am really looking forward to it, and can't wait to sit and watch it with you guys when we do the watch along for it. Because I'm sure we're all gonna be going bananas when we watch the main event. So much fun, man. So brings a smile to my face. This is why I love this sport. It's why I love watching, and it's gonna be great, Jeff. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, I think.
Absolutely. All right, man. What do we got next?
All right, up next we're gonna talk a little bit more about The Rock.
The Rock
joined the TKO board.
Yeah, man. This is a little scary too, because does he write this into the storyline? Does he say, hey, I'm now a board member, and I say that now I get to be special guest referee of that match? I'm inserting myself as special guest referee. Or does it, you heard him. He said he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that this doesn't happen. Well, he's got some power, guys. He's on the board. Now, obviously that's his position on the board and his position in wrestling are completely two different things. However, this could certainly come into being part of the story. And Cody made him mad. He pissed him off. He talked about his blood and his ancestors and stuff like that. And now he's just out to get it. Now, I had thought maybe we might see something with the chamber with them, but that's not going to happen. Rock is not going to Elimination Chamber. That has been confirmed. That is out there. So that's not going to happen. I thought maybe we'd have maybe the tag team match with Seth and Cody against Rock and Roman, maybe at the Chamber, but that is not happening. Rock is not going to be there. I don't know about Roman. I don't know about Cody, but Rock is not going to that event. So yeah, I don't know, man, but this is if I'm Cody, I'd be a little scared rather of the fact that he's, you're now you've pissed off a high member of the board. So not just The Rock, but now you've upset the high member of the board who can kind of ruin your life if he really wants to.
He could put a stop to finishing that story real quick.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it's going to be interesting to see how they play this out, because you can definitely see little hints of them throwing in the board stuff into the storyline already. So I think we may see that play out leading up to Mania, and we may get him doing some type of stipulation or something. So yeah, I think he's going to throw around his weight a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Otherwise, in reality, not the wrestling side of it, this is a good thing for them. This is a good thing for them to have him involved, to have that, a big a name as The Rock is, to be on the board of TKO is a great thing for WWE, because he knows what WWE does. He knows what they are. When you have a person like that can sit on the board, that can, listen to things and talk about things, and this guy is going to have the wrestlers' backs. He's going to talk about the wrestlers and talk about what they do and things like that. So as far as him being on it, it's brilliant. It's a very, very good idea. What better way to represent WWE than one of the greatest of all time? It's an absolutely great decision, and I think it's a very, very good thing for WWE that he has joined the board. Roman or Bray was the only two it should have been. Brock, who can't find any mention of him associated with WWE. Yeah, he's kind of faded off the map, and probably will for a good while. Yeah. Isn't that why Triple H did that promo that he did on SmackDown? Yes. Yeah. Triple H. Yeah. Triple H came out and said that he's in charge. He's running the show. Absolutely. I'm sure that's why he did it, because he, of course, had that confrontation. A lot of people were saying, oh, maybe we're getting Triple H against The Rock. I don't think so. I don't think so. Triple H probably wouldn't be in a wrestling ring. I don't think. But you never know. But I don't think so. But yeah, this is good, man. It's good for WWE. It's also good for the story as well. So yeah, I dig it, man. I dig it. All right. What's up next?
This is a new addition to the news segment, and I want folks to let me know what you think. But just so we can get a little bit of everything in there, we're gonna do weeks in review for companies. So we're gonna start with WWE, and then we'll go AEW, and then TNA this week.
Okay. All right. Jeff is testing our memories here, because I can't remember what I ate breakfast for the last level. Well, obviously WWE. I mean, we talked about the biggest story in WWE, right? The stuff that happened on SmackDown on Friday with The Rock and Roman. Of course, they made us wait till the very, very end of that show for the results there. But the other stuff that's going on too, the Elimination Chamber matches, right? The qualifiers for Elimination Chamber for both the women and the men. We saw Naomi qualify. Trinity, obviously. I'm going to keep calling her Naomi. But Trinity obviously qualified for the Elimination Chamber. That's pretty exciting. And we saw Tiffany Stratton, right? Tiffany Stratton qualified for the Chamber as well, which is, hey, that's big for her. Listen, her first big match is going to be in an Elimination Chamber. Becky Lynch has never wrestled in an Elimination Chamber match until this very year. So that's a big step for Tiffany Stratton. Just a lot of cool things happening here. That's going to determine who wrestles Rhea Ripley. And so, like I said, we had that confrontation with Rhea and Becky Lynch, and of course, until Nia Jax got involved in that, that was on Raw on Monday night. We had Cody was out there as well. A lot of things happening on both shows. It looks as if Jey Uso might be going up against. He's going up against Gunther, right, for his title. So that's kind of an interesting story development going on behind the scenes. We still have the stuff going on with Kevin Owens and Jake Paul, not Jake Paul, Logan Paul. Logan Paul going on, and that kind of stuff. Now Logan's entering the Elimination Chamber. God forbid. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Logan Paul wins the Elimination Chamber and then he's the one that goes on to beat Seth Rollins, dear sweet Lord in heaven? If he has 2 belts, oh my God, dude. Stranger things have happened. But yeah, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is going on in WWE, and I didn't even watch NXT. So, Jeff, I'm going to let you do your side of it. If you watched NXT, you could talk about NXT and what happened on that. But there is a lot brewing in WWE, and it's not just the Cody and Rock stuff.
Yeah, and I didn't have a chance to watch NXT this past week, but what I will say is this. There's so much, like you said, and the new acquisitions for SmackDown. So it looks like Jade will be on SmackDown. It looks like Braun Breaker is going to be on SmackDown, which that'll be interesting. So, yeah, this is going to be. I think this ride to WrestleMania might be one of the best that we've seen in quite some time. I mean, WWE, Lord knows they've had a ton of missteps in the past, but when they get it right, and they're getting it right heading into WrestleMania. So it's been great. It honestly has.
Yeah, I agree. It really has been good. Joe Gacy got put in a straitjacket. Oh, no kidding. That's cool. NXT has been awesome. Yeah. Tazzy has said many, many times that they've been really, really good lately. And I know Tazzy watches it. There's certain days I get to do things, certain days I don't. Tuesday is unfortunately one of the days which I don't usually get to watch anything much at all, just because of the other stuff I have going on. So I don't get to watch much NXT, but I've heard that. I've heard it's been really, really good. And then A said it wasn't good. See how different people have different strokes for different folks, baby. Everybody has their own thing. Everybody likes what they like, and some don't like what and there you go. Perfect example. So Nikita Lyons is an attractive woman with all due respect. Jada Parker is another attractive woman with all due respect. A lot of all due respect comments. It's all right to have, listen, hey, Tiffany Stratton is a very attractive woman. It's just how it is. You're not being disrespectful. It is. She calls herself the Barbie, I think, of NXT, or at one time she did. Hey, she can definitely do that. Too Broke to Bet Moda is here. What's up, Moda? My odds in order from greatest to least to win the men's chambers LA Knight: Kevin Owens, Lashley, Randy, Logan, and Drew. Order from least to greatest to least odds. Wow, you think Drew is last? Is that how I'm reading that right? Or did I reverse it? Drew, you think Drew is last? Oh, man, I don't agree. I think Drew I think is the favorite. I think he's got to be the favorite right now, I think, to win that. The other thing you got to remember, guys, about reality and Drew, there's all kinds of talk about Drew not having a contract. So if they make him champion, you're going to get a new contract. So yeah, I don't know. I think they're going to let Drew walk, and just as I know damn well that no matter if he's on their roster page or not, AEW ain't letting MJF walk either. So yeah, so that's good recovery for Shotzi. Did Shotzi get hurt? I didn't hear that. What happened to Shotzi? Oh, that's a shame, dude. Shotzi, I think, is fantastic.
I agree.
Now I have to look that up now. What happened to Shotzi? Oh, that sucks, dude. I hate when I hear people get hurt, suffer serious knee injury at the 213 NXT TV tapings. Oh, man, that sucks. Oh, gosh. We've gotten so many injuries lately, especially with all these knee things. She tried her apron DDT during tonight's taping for NXT. She will undergo evaluations to confirm the severity of the injury. The match needed to be stopped. Oh, that stinks. That stinks, man. Oh man, I've just lost a lot of people. That's a shame, dude. I hate to hear that. I really do hate to hear that.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Moving on. We're gonna go to where we go next? TNA or
Yeah.
AEW?
Yeah.
AEW. Again, I don't get to watch AEW much on Wednesdays, but I do get to listen to their after show podcast, not their after show, but Busted Open's after show podcast. I listen to Bully's podcast every week that talks about the show. He seemed to really enjoy it. He was talking about the Adam Copeland thing that's going on, a lot of stuff with him and with Christian and that are happening there that he's saying is absolutely must watch. He said it's tremendous. He absolutely loved it. The one thing that I'll talk about a little bit that I did hear happen was the promo from Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Not sure how that's received by fans. You guys in the chat can let me know. Obviously, Conrad and all of you who watch AEW week by week. What are your thoughts on that? Like, did you Bully looked at it as a very bad thing? That he did that, and so did LaGreca, thinking that they're just calling attention to that because Darby mentioned Cody. The fans started chanting Cody, and that they're just calling attention to their rival and another wrestling company by doing that. So LaGreca kind of said, "I don't like it. I don't like that he did that." It's to me, you're not really supposed to be doing that. That's your direct rival. You're supposed to kind of be, not bringing that to everyone's attention. But I don't know. You guys let me know. Thought it made sense how Darby feels. Cody is over in AEW. I couldn't believe my ears. Yeah. And Joan Jeff, to me, I like the promo that Darby Allin did. Okay. All right. Yeah, like I said, I'm just going off by what their guys' opinions mentioned about it. I know the thing with Deonna Purrazzo and Tony Storm, of course, is still happening and still going on as well. A lot of people are saying Deonna is really, really killing it. That the promos have been really, really good. And we'll see. We'll see. Is Deonna Purrazzo going to walk in there and take a title? I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. I think she deserves any accolades that she gets. And Tony Storm, what she's doing is tremendous too. So I love what both of them are doing. Did hear some news that Dr. Britt Baker might be due to come back soon, which is big for them as well. So yeah, Jeff, I don't know. Did you watch the show at all? Did you hear the promo or did you happen to hear about it?
I didn't hear about it, but I have an opinion in terms of speaking on others. I think it all depends on how it's used and when it's used. I think sometimes people pretend that wrestling companies have their own bubbles and anything that happens outside of that bubble doesn't exist, and that's just not reality. But I think it also has to make sense how it's done.
Yeah.
If it's done on such a basis that it's like you're putting the other company over, I don't really think that's good because you want to keep the attention on your product. But I think if it makes sense in terms of a storyline, because I think we're getting more and more realistic stuff going forward, which I like because, I mean, we're not in the 80s anymore. We're not in the 90s anymore. So let's evolve some of these storylines. But I will say this with AEW. I didn't get to watch a lot this week, but I've been really enjoying what they're doing. And I got to say this too, and I know I started saying this at the end of last year, but put a title on Swerve Strickland, please, please, and thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I like how I did hear that Hangman Page now turned into a heel too, which is that's very interesting to me. Hangman was so over with the crowd there, and now he's turned into a heel. I also did hear the news about the Young Bucks and that whole thing that they're doing, and how they've gone complete heels as well. And they were gonna do something. Were they gonna beat up Tony Schiavone? Is that what was happening? Were they gonna beat up Schiavone? How rude! Like Tony Schiavone's a legend. But yeah, listen. I don't get to see it as much. Like I said, I did check in on a little bit of it. I saw me not much, maybe 5-10 minutes or so, but I don't get to see it very much. But I am hearing good things, and I can see all of you in the chat are talking about it too. I am hearing that they're doing some good stuff there too. So it's great. Like I said, it's great for the whole business overall. It's great for wrestling that everybody is just doing good things. And look, what AEW is doing now. I know we have a triple threat, I think, coming up for the title. What they're doing now, they're doing without their biggest star, who is MJF. So that's pretty impressive. Usually when that star goes away, and we don't know, he could have had a little, maybe got a little scraped up, a little banged up, a little injured or something. Maybe he's taking some time off, or this is all just part of what he's doing. But yeah, the fact that they're moving forward. And look, I love Edge. I love Christian. I love those guys. And I wish the best for both of them. I've said that many, many times on the show. Tony Storm is good. Made sense for the most part. Deanna is fire. I love that AEW doesn't shy away from acknowledging Cody. It's stupid to act like people don't exist when they leave. TNA always lists people's accolades in other promotions. Good point. Yeah, good point. I like AEW Dynamite, says Hassan. I agree. Bonus Baby says Conrad. I did hate it. Cody was over in that company, and I think it's just a matter of disrespect or of respect by Darby. Deanna is fine. Sorry, Macklin is a lucky man. Darby just said the EVP that was liked wasn't there. The crowd chanted Cody, but Kenny ain't there either. Darby's promo to me was essentially calling the Bucks for stuff people perceive they pull. I got a fill in the blank for you and Jeff. The AEW Women's Division would blank if Mercedes Moné signs with AEW. I don't think that's an if, Brandon, anymore. I mean, she put out a little tweet saying, watch me. What was it? Watch what I do or something like that. I think was her little tweet that she had out there. I think it's pretty.
I think it's a foregone conclusion at this point.
Yeah, I do too.
Which good for her if it does happen.
Especially because that pay-per-view is called Big Money or something, isn't it? I mean, come on. Come on. That's I think that's all but a done deal. Swerve will be AEW champion. The stories heading into AEW Revolution are very one-sided. Jeff, I agree with you. I want to see Swerve Strickland as champion. Swerve is killing it. He's been for a minute. Prince Nana dancing is always awesome. Swerve's house. Swerve when I drive. Someone compared the Young Bucks thing to the old York Foundation. Swerve has the crowd with him. AEW has to put a belt, if not the belt, on him. They better. Orange Cassidy versus Taven in a Texas death match was good. No way near as good as Swerve versus Hangman, though. Swerve is good. I do know that, despite watching zero AEW, so he should have some sort of title. Agreed. All right. Jeff, we got to talk about TNA.
Yeah, we got to talk about TNA and what they're doing right now. We got a pay-per-view coming up this week.
We do. I love some of the things that they're doing backstage now. And I said this on the show this past week. It's not easy when you start over because you start over fresh. There are no storylines pre-existing. And a lot of their stuff over the past 3 years has done that. They'll go from one pay-per-view and then they'll kind of start some stories, but they may have had some stories going on before that. That is happening. So a lot of the TNA stuff is a little bit, people might say a little bit all over the place, but that's because they started fresh. I mean, geez, we're getting a rematch already of MK Ultra and Decay for their titles. So we all know what happened there, where Decay just came in, surprised them out of nowhere, and they take their titles from them. Well, we're getting a rematch at this pay-per-view this coming week. We all know what Macklin has been doing to Nick Nemeth, man. It ain't pretty. Macklin is just coming after him no matter where he shows up, where he goes. He is coming after Nick Nemeth, and he has definitely gotten the better of him for the last couple of weeks. So, some really cool stuff going on down there. The stuff with Frankie Kazarian turning heel, we're pretty sure. Now, it's not been announced yet, but I would bet that we're getting a match between Frankie Kazarian and Eric Young coming up at that pay-per-view. I know it hasn't been talked about yet, but I would guarantee we're probably getting it. We're getting some rematches there as well. We're getting Moose going up against Alex Shelley. We're also getting Jordan Grace going up against Giselle Shaw, who has been just unbelievable. She's been letting everyone have it. So yeah, the pay-per-view looks like it's going to be very, very good. We also have Mustafa Ali going up against Chris Sabin at the pay-per-view as well, dude. That's a dream match. Going to be amazing to see Mustafa Ali in a different promotion and what he can do. We've been seeing those political-esque promos that he does. Fantastic, man. Jeff, TNA is off to an incredible start with this new promotion that they're doing. We have the whole thing going. Oh my God! And Joe Hendry,
Yeah,
Joe Hendry
I'm
with another song to counter the one Francis did. That's it's freaking hilarious. I don't know what's going to happen there. Rich Swann got involved. Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was just gonna say this no surrender card is pretty doggone stacked, and you know how we talked about last week how we were probably gonna get another match. Well, let me tell you what we got just to go over the card.
Yep.
We have a tag team warfare match between Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers versus Kushida and Kevin Knight.
Oh man.
We've got the Knockouts tag match, like you talked about. We've got the Big Monsters match between PCO and Big Con.
Oh, that's got to have a stip.
Yeah, got to.
That's got to have a stip.
We've got Josh Alexander versus Simon Gotch. Yeah, that's right, Simon Gotch.
Dude, man.
The final match of the series between ABC and Grizzled Young Vets.
Champs.
Could get new champs. And obviously we got Moose and Alex Shelley one more time. So man, I want to talk about a good card.
Yep.
It's gonna be good. And I mean the weekly shows have been really good. You talked about how they're having to reset some things, and yeah, I mean they're starting anew, so there are going to be some things that switch over a little bit, and that's fine. But I feel like they've been really doing a great job setting things up, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I don't think Jordan Grace loses right now,
right?
But I don't think Giselle is going to be without that title for very long this year. I feel like Giselle will get the title at some point.
Okay. Yeah, I could see it. And yeah, someone brought up in the chat that she turned. Bonus Baby said Giselle turned on Savannah Evans.
Yep.
That is very true. So that's her entourage. That's the person she had looking out for her was Savannah Evans. So now that's not going to happen after that. Savannah's not going to be there to look out for Jay Vidal may, but we all know what he does. He's
going to get beaten up probably.
Yeah.
Giselle, I feel like she's going to have a big 2024, and I feel like she's going to be Knockouts champ. Probably, I would say around maybe Slammiversary. I think that might be when they do that.
Okay. Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, man, I think TNA is off to a fantastic start, and we're going to see another pay-per-view this coming week. So, again, remember to join us. Thursday night will be the last night, so be a go-home show. Their go-home shows usually are very, very good. And then we'll have and let's also not forget, we talk about Joe Hendry. What about the work that Dirty Dango's doing, man? Dirty Dango is freaking awesome. What a place he found in that promotion, kind of floundering, a little bit there when we were first watching him in Impact, but now he's found this great spot where he just is this guy who hates wrestling, and he does. I think it's fantastic, man. I think it's awesome. So it's going to be awesome. Can't wait. We should get some announcements maybe about what the PCO and con thing is going to be. James Chadwick's hoping for a Monsters Ball or something along those lines. That one's going to be bloody. I just know it is. So we'll get to see how it goes. But it's so good. Joe Hendry needs to come to Sami Callihan's Wrestling Revolver and fight Elijah. Elijah debuted in Revolver last night along with Ember Moon, who was also on. Oh, okay, nice. I didn't know Ember was there. That's cool. I wish TK wasn't so stubborn and Jericho and Jackson weren't running AEW. Scott D'Amore would make AEW a better wrestling organization than would make money. Have Dirty Dango go through the undead realm and come out as clean. Oh man, I'm still hoping Ali shows up too with Decay.
At some point.
Yeah, I would really love to see that. And I know we got that little tease from Camille as well.
Yeah.
Maybe Camille shows up at TNA. That'd be awesome. I would absolutely love to see her there too.
Hell
yeah. All right, Jeff. I think we're gonna move on. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's. Well, it's that time, Joe.
Oh, it is. How can I forget?
It's that time.
It's everybody's favorite segment of the show that's coming up right now. It doesn't matter that we're past the actual season. I know that is come and gone, but it never goes away because it's time for the airing of grievances.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Love it. Love Jerry Stiller. I was watching Little King of Queens last night. What an actor he was. So funny. And this is one of the funniest things he's ever done on a comedy show, in the airing of grievances. And of course, we take that from Seinfeld. If you want to look it up, go and watch it. The episode, it's absolutely hilarious. So, Jeff, the floor is yours. Me and my big mouth don't really have much to say because I really enjoyed wrestling lately. I don't really have much to complain about. I usually go on my rants and stuff like that, but I'm going to give the floor to Jeff on this one because I know he wants to talk about some important stuff. So, Jeff, man, it's all yours.
Yeah, so I'm not going to take very long with this because I feel like I've said this here many times, and I just want to remind people wrestling is supposed to be fun. We can sit here and we can have discussions and fantasy book and do all those things, but it's supposed to be fun. And I get people supporting their favorites, and I get people advocating for their favorites and advocating for what they want to see. But it should never get to a point where anyone sends a death threat over a storyline. It should never get to a point where you're threatening anyone. I mean, threatening physical violence against people because they disagree. There's just no place for that, I feel. And I'm tired of seeing it. So I feel like one of the biggest culprits of that type of behavior is Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. And I feel like a lot of times people go unchecked and they hide behind screens and keyboards and say all these mean and nasty things, not realizing that there are people on the other side of those devices that feel and that have family that are these men and women that you put down in trash on both sides. I mean, The Rock's daughter getting it, and then other people targeting Cody's family. It's just stupid. Like, it's stupid behavior, and we shouldn't engage with that type of behavior. But I'm going to throw this out there too. We shouldn't hype it up. I feel like in this age of entertainment and podcasting and all these things, so many people focus on the negatives. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about here is I saw two people that I really look up to last week have a little bit of a spat, and that's Mike Epps and Shannon Sharp. And they had a little bit of a spat. There were some jokes told by Mike Epps. Shannon Sharp didn't take too kindly to some of those things and made some comments on his show. And it ended up with these guys not beating each other up, but they were able to meet, have a discussion, come to an agreement, shake hands, and break bread with one another. And I bring that up to say this. It's at the point now where if something that is supposed to bring you joy and entertainment is making you lash out at people, call people names, be a completely nasty and ignorant person, maybe it's time for you to find something else that you enjoy. Because clearly behaving like that is not something that comes from enjoyment. And that's it. That's all I got this week.
Yeah, 100%. I I get involved with things that I like. And I back them 100%. I'm a geek slash nerd, so whatever you want to call me, um, for science fiction, superhero stuff, and horror, and I like it. And make fun of me for it. I don't care. I like what I like. My goodness, on Twitter, and this is one of the only really, if you'll notice, you can take a look at our channel and notice there isn't that little fancy blue thing by our name anymore. You want to know why? Part of what we're talking about. I don't feel like giving them money for that, because it really is not a great place to be. So I use it to promote the show and to reach out to you guys for things, and if we're going to change our schedule and stuff like that, because it's good to do. But and listen, there's a lot of great people there. Hell, I marked out because they showed a picture of the Fantastic Four movie coming out, and with a poster and the cast members in this artful poster that they did. I love that kind of shit, right? That's just who I am. And people could say what they want. I don't give a damn. It's just what I like. And like Jeff said, no one should ever be out there berating people for things that they don't like or that they like. It's just ridiculously stupid. And I feel sorry for those people, because obviously to them, the only thing that really makes them happy is making others unhappy. And that's pretty sad. Pretty sad way to live your life. And there's going to come a point in time where those people will be sitting at home and not have anyone to say anything to. Because if they're like that with people in real life, they're not going to have any friends. They're not going to have anyone around them, because who likes to be around you and be berated constantly? Not really anyone. So they're going to be very lonely people. They're going to live their life very lonely people. And they're probably not ever going to find anyone that's going to want to spend their lives with them, because they're not good people. So, I feel bad for them. I really do. When I see someone, put up a post that, on something that I share that I find important to myself, and then I see someone respond out of the blue, no one I know. It's just someone that's, that throws a comment out there randomly that sees it on Twitter and berates it for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I don't know this person. All I do now is I just block them, because I'm like, whatever, dude. If that got you off for 5 seconds for doing that, then go ahead. You got me. You got me. And now I'm blocking you. So goodbye. That one interaction for a half second that they got to have with me and say, ha ha ha, I'll tell you. And then all of a sudden they go back to look at it and they see, oh, they blocked me. What good did it do them for that little bit? What good did it do? I hope you enjoyed it, because you're never going to do it again. So yeah, it's so silly, but I agree with Jeff 100%. I agree with Jeff 100%. And I know everybody in this community, I know you guys are all kind people. Otherwise you probably wouldn't be here. So I know that none of you do that and wouldn't do that. And it's good. I'm glad that we do. I know we have a small bunch, but you know what? I will 99 times out of 100 sometimes take a small bunch over tons and tons and tons of people sliding up and down this chat that are a bunch of nothing but trolls.
Mhm.
I'll take it every day and twice on Tuesday. So yeah. So don't think we're ever not appreciative of you guys, because we are. Because there are some rotten people that are out there on some of these streams that have like hundreds and 200s and 300s of people in the streams at one time, and all you're seeing is just garbage and trolling and crap. And you know what? Be my guest. Be my guest. You can have it. You can have it. So Eric Rousseau is here. Hello, Eric. How are you? It's been a while. Welcome, dude.
Did you see that the Coug is here too?
The Coug was here?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I didn't see
Still
that.
here.
Holy cow, dude. Look at this. We're getting all these it's like a reunion.
Yeah.
Getting all people back in here. That's awesome. It's great to see you guys. Wrestling is supposed to be fun, but since social media came around, it's a mess. I not only like wrestling, I enjoy nostalgia, music, movies, TV shows, and video games. I think a lot of us do.
Yeah.
Hell, I told everybody on Thursday, I got talked into by my wife watching a movie about English football, man, or a series called Ted Lasso, and I loved it. I binged the crap out of it, watched the whole entire thing, and I absolutely loved it. And me and my wife usually don't watch the same stuff. But she told me I should watch it, and damn if I didn't enjoy it. And now now you know what? Now I may start watching English football because I kind of dig it now. I like the crowds are just like nasty and stuff and cursing, and they're all drunk. And and James Chadwick can tell me if that's realistic or not. I'm kind of thinking a little bit of his base that way, but I really enjoyed the hell out of that show, man. So look, everybody can enjoy different things. We all like different stuff, and that's what makes us human beings. And we just have to be respectful of one another, like Jeff said. If we don't, that's pretty easy. Pretty easy.
It's not that hard. It's not
pretty
that
easy,
hard.
man.
I got to share with Joe yesterday, and I'll share it with all of you now.
Oh God,
my son.
This was awesome.
My son has found the wonders of old school Nintendo games. I think it was Clown. I think it was Clown that was talking about the Nintendo Switch Online and got it, and he played Tecmo Bowl for hours yesterday. And at one point he said, I feel really bad that you guys had to play video games with graphics like this back then. It's like, he goes from playing Madden 24 to playing Tecmo Bowl. It's bit of a difference, I would say, but and they played the first Mario, and it was like, wait, that's it? You got to start all the way over again?
Yep, exactly what my 19-year-old said.
Yeah. Yep. And Joe, we did the wrestling, and he's like, "Who is Starman?"
Starman, yes. I loved Starman. He was my favorite character in that game. I played through the whole game with him. Oh my God, dude. Such memories, dude. It's so awesome. Yeah. And when the kids that are the younger generation see all that, like Jeff was just saying, my daughter was playing Mario on mine too, the original Mario, because she knows the Mario game. She plays Mario Kart and all that kind of stuff, the newer ones. But when she was going through and she's playing and she's jumping, and all of a sudden he dies, and then she's going through the one board and she's in the water and she drowns and dies, and then she dies the third time, and all of a sudden it goes game over. And she said, "Oh, well, I guess I'll just press a button and I'll start back here." And I'm like, "Oh, no. You start all over at the beginning." She's like, "What?" You start over at the beginning. Well, this is stupid. I'm like, this is how we did it. I said, and before this, we used to pay to do it in the arcades. Yeah. We would just keep sinking quarters into the damn machine to get to play over again and try not to lose. Mm-hmm. It's great, dude. It's so good, man. The trials and tribulations that we lived through
I know.
Was fantastic. But man, what a great time to grow up.
Oh, and Joe, he asked me, he was like, "So Dad, how do I save my season?"
Nope.
Nope, that ain't happening.
There is no save of anything.
Nope.
Oh, it's so good, man. It's so good, dude. Hilarious. Yeah, you found out about Bo Jackson. Yeah, Bo Jackson in
Yeah.
Tecmo Bowl. Oh my God, dude, he was unstoppable. You can literally take him all the way back to the opposing goal line. You can go run all the way backwards and then run up and forward again and beat every single player going down the field with him. Yeah, totally broken. Totally broken, dude. Oh, good times. Conrad says yes. Absolutely good times. All right. Let's move on, shall we, and get to our next topic. That is our airing of grievances of this week. I'm sure we will have more of those in the future because we always tend to find something. But it is time now for sell or no sell. And the third one of this, watch out, because it's brand new. We're going to have you guys involved in this as well. So that's coming up on the third topic in sell or no sell. Mike Tyson's Punch Out. My wife is so good at that, Conrad. She beats a living crap. I can't touch her in Mike Tyson's Punch Out. She doesn't play video games, but for whatever reason, she loves that one, and she is really good at it. And I'm terrible. He's heating up. I remember that very well. All right, we're moving on, Jeff. Sell or no sell? What do we got? What's the first topic?
First topic. We talked a lot about this guy, and we're going to talk about him a little bit more. Cody Rhodes will indeed finish his story in 2024, Joe. Sell or no sell?
No, this is an easy one, and I'm going to tell you why. Because they don't want riots in Philadelphia. I mentioned that earlier. You think they're famous for cheesesteaks? You think they're famous for Philadelphia style pretzels? Oh no! They're famous for violence there. Trust me. I have been succumbed to Philadelphia violence when I would go with my Cowboys jacket on to some of their Eagles games. I know full well what happens there. You do not do something against that crowd and get them hostile in any shape or form. They will literally go down to Broadway in Philadelphia, Main Street in Philadelphia, and they will burn things to the ground. Anywhere else you may get away with that kind of crap, but no way, no how. Cody does not finish his story. This is a sell, and a sell all day long. And if not for anything else,
I love it.
If not for anything else, it's to save Philadelphia from flames and fire. Definite sell. Jeff, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna sell that too, because if they don't, I mean, we're too close to Philly for things to go a different way.
Oh my God, dude.
And my goodness, I mean, I just feel like Cody is the biggest in wrestling that we've seen in quite a while.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about the true underdog, ultimate underdog story. One of the last times you saw the guy, he was Stardust.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
He went somewhere, he bet on himself.
Watch the documentary, man.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like I just want the story finished at this point, so I'm gonna sell it too.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I love it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and the chat all agrees. Sell 100%. Sell. Sell, no sell. Lots of sells with a lot of R's. There are a lot of L's in it. Rather sell. Cody finishes the Jesse's here. Hey, Jesse finishes his story with the Rock's help. I hope they threw snowballs at Santa Claus. They booed Michael Irvin from the Cowboys when he broke his leg. They are brutal. Philly fans are brutal. I can attest. My brother-in-law lives down there, and my brother-in-law will not go to games to see the Eagles play anymore because he almost got food thrown at. He got food thrown at him. They were throwing hot pretzels all over the place, and they are nasty. There's a reason why Veterans Stadium years ago had a jail. Philly is nasty. You don't mess with Philadelphia. So
they threw batteries at Santa, right?
Yes, they did.
They did. Santa Claus. I mean, they're throwing batteries.
Yes, they are.
That's all you need to say. I mean, just don't make that mistake, WWE.
No, WWE cannot piss off Philadelphia. That's one place they do not want to do that. They literally it's just no. They will not do it. All right, what's our next topic, man?
All right, next up. All right, so this comes off of the heels of the Rumble. TNA and WWE will partner again in 2024, Joe. Sell or no sell, sir?
Yeah, I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to tell you why.
I don't like it. I love it, love it, love it.
That worked out well because I paused there for drama for dramatic. Hey, I'm going to tell you why I don't like it. I love it. Yes. So the reason I'm going to say yes is because Jordan Grace came out and said that this isn't the last time. I don't think she would have lied about that because why would you even mention that if it was a done deal? I do think that something else is going to happen. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be some kind of big mixed pay-per-view or something like AEW does with New Japan. I'm not saying any of that, but I do think that at some point, maybe we see them return the favor, right? Jordan made that plane flight to be in the Rumble. Well, maybe somebody from WWE, and I'm not even saying it's going to be somebody huge name or something like that, but maybe they make an appearance at, let's say, a Slammiversary or something along those lines. Maybe it's a return of a prodigal son of that company that comes back for a big event, which a lot of fans were hoping would happen before, and he returns because he now has permission to do so, whether it be for a match or even an appearance, which would absolutely blow the roof off of the arena if it were that certain guy, and I think you know his initials, that would walk back in that door. So maybe it's just something along those lines. I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be a pay-per-view. It's going to be a combined pay-per-view. I don't know if they're quite there yet, but I do think it's something that could maybe happen in the future. But I do think there is going to be one more thing that you're going to see from WWE and TNA this year, Jeff.
Yeah. I will say this. I was a heck of a lot more confident about this before the whole Scott D'Amore
Yeah, that's true too.
thing. I was a heck of a lot more confident then.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I do think I don't think it happens this year. So I guess for the purposes of the question, I'm gonna no sell it. So I'll play the feud buzzer. That'll wake you up. I don't think it'll be this year, but I do think it's possible that we get a knockouts division versus a WWE women's division kind of return back to the women's pay-per-view that WWE did several years ago, and to kind of capitalize on what TNA, then Impact, and NWA did. So but I could see the Rumble thing, like Conrad is saying. I could see a TNA star being in the Rumble going forward. Like, that's just a thing. It's just a matter of who. And I think next year we even get a man. We might get a man in the men's Rumble. I mean, don't count out Josh Alexander or Moose.
Maybe?
I mean, yeah. I mean, think about that. So I think it's a possibility that we see it, but I don't know that we see it again in 2024. I think it's going to be more like 2025.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's hard not to argue. It's hard to not argue with that with the Scott thing because he could have been kind of instrumental in doing a lot of that too. So yeah, that's a good point. Good point. People got stabbed in San Diego during Raider Chargers games. This isn't Philly. No, clown. I'm telling you, they've interviewed many sports writers. Colin Cowherd being one of them. He actually had a top 5 countdown of the worst fans in America in football. Philadelphia was number 1 by far. And like I said, I live around here. I know they're harsh. They are absolutely harsh. And I get it. Every fan base has their good and their bad. Philadelphia's harsh. They really, really are. And like I said, my brother-in-law, born and raised there. He grew up on the streets of, he lived in a bad part of Philadelphia. And even he, who is a big Eagles fan, will not go to games anymore because he said that they're too violent. He said that, people punching each other, that it's just horrible. So Philadelphia's bad. It's bad. All right. Topic 3 is the new topic. Yes.
Yeah. So Joe, we're pointing at the people right now.
We are.
This is us pointing at the people. So I need some topics here, folks. Give us some topics that you'd like for us to debate. Obviously, all of you in the chat can play along. James is in love with the idea of Philly because of violence, so he's like, "Can I move to Philly?"
James, listen. I know you said to me the other night on the show you'd never watched Ted Lasso. You need to, and I'm going to tell you why. Because there's a football player on that team. His last name is Kent. He reminds me so much of you, so much. It's not even. He is like the grumpiest ass, and I'm not saying that that's you, but all he does is curse and swear. The F word, it comes out of his mouth every 2 minutes, and he just reminded me of James. James, you have to watch that. You really, really have to watch it. It's hilarious, and you have to tell me if you do. If England is really like that, because I may move to England. Because it was tremendous, yeah. But give us some ideas. Come on, let's go. Give us some ideas. What do you want? What do you want us to debate?
Noob and Co is in the spirit.
There you go.
Dakota Kai will betray Bailey before.
Ooh, I like it. All right. Will Dakota Kai betray Bailey before WrestleMania 40? Yeah, you have to kind of word it. James Grant, who will defeat Gunther for the beat? You have to give us a choice. So it's a sell or no sell, right? So you got to give us a choice. So you got to say, let's say Jey Uso will defeat Gunther for the title, and give us in the form of a sell or no sell. So we've got will Dakota Kai betray Bailey before WrestleMania 40? Are we going to vote for one, Jeff? Or are we going to?
Well, I've got this handy dandy.
Oh, you got a spinner.
Yeah.
Yo, all right. So we got to fill the spinner. We need how many? We need 8 of them.
8 fills the spinner. So
okay, so we got the one from Noob. Who else we got?
So who Gunther will defeat Gunther? So let's say Jey Uso does.
Yeah, let's say okay. Yeah, there we go. We'll adjust it. Will Jey Uso defeat Gunther? Okay, I like it. James Grant mentioned that one. Dakota's a snake. She will. Will Mercedes
will win the AEW champion?
There you go. All right, like it.
And we'll throw a qualifier on it and say in 2024.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you think the TNA roster's letter can make a difference? Okay. How would we word that? Sell or no sell? I guess you could just do it that way. The roster from the TNA roster's letter to Anthem will make a difference. Yeah, you can do it that way. So that's a good sell or no sell. Big Dan has Tommy Dreamer is inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2024. Or Bray Wyatt should be the 2024 Hall of Fame headliner. So he is it kind of both, I guess.
Okay.
Or we could take one or the other. Or we could just do both there. That's it. That's all in one kind of thing. Conrad's got one. Scott D'Amore removed from TNA. Best place for Jacob Fatu to sign. Sting's time in AEW is better than WWE time. I like that.
I don't even have to debate that one. I mean,
that was it's
clearly better than AEW.
Yeah, that's very clear. Yes. Will Scott D'Amore? How can we do the Scott D'Amore one? Because that's a big one too. If that was will Scott D'Amore being removed from TNA affect the company? Maybe we do that.
Let's
as Conrad's thing. Put that up there as Conrad's. Chris says he likes the spinner. Yeah, it's kind of cool, right? I remember if Cody beats Roman, do the titles switch brands or do the new champions switch brands? I like it. There you go. That's Moda for that one.
I'm not going to write that whole thing, but I'm going to say title switch.
Yeah, just if Cody beats Roman, do title switch. Yeah. Ooh, this is controversial. James Chadwick has will Mercedes Moné. So Mercedes Moné will make a difference to the AEW women's division / ratings.
Okay. That's the 8th one then.
All right. Well, there you go. There you go. We got 8. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate that. And those of you that didn't get picked for this week, we'll get you next week, I'm sure, because we're gonna just keep doing this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll keep doing this.
All right.
So yes.
Now Jeff's gonna get to spin the spinner, and then we're gonna go. We're gonna pick it.
Here we go.
There it comes. There you are. There's the spinner. There it goes. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows.
So Mercedes will boost ratings and help the WWE and help the AEW women's division. So let's debate that.
Ooh, all right. It's James Chadwick's topic this week. So there you go. Mercedes Moné will make a difference to the new AEW women's division and increase ratings. Sell or no sell. Jeff, I'll let you start it. What do you got, man?
I don't like it. I love it, love it, love it.
I think, and this is no disrespect to any of the women in that locker room, but Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, whatever she wrestles under, is the biggest women's star that you have on that roster. I think with that being the case, obviously I'm not privy to any of these conversations, but you would think that during negotiations, there were some discussions on, hey, if I come here, we're going to make this division the best in the business. We got some competition, but we're going to make it the best in the business. And we're going to get some eyes on the product, but we got to be on screen. And I would agree with that statement, Conrad. AEW's women's division has been one of the better divisions lately. I agree with that. So I think adding Mercedes is only going to help. And I think it's only going to get more eyes and attention. I think it's going to be a very beneficial signing for all parties involved. So I'm going to sell it.
Okay. Wow, this is I'm going to sell it too, but I'm going to sell it with a bit of a caveat here.
I don't like it. I love it, love it, love it.
I have no doubt on name alone that she will improve the ratings because she's got a ton of fans and that are going to be going crazy that she's back. So I have no doubt about that. She's a mega star and not just in the wrestling business, but she's been in stuff. She's been in Star Wars and stuff like that too. So I have no doubt. Where I would say, will she help ratings? Yes, because people are going to tune in. It's just going to happen. Where the little caveat here is for me is, will it last? Because Mercedes, as good as she is, will demand time. Okay. That means, now again, I'm not going to come out here and say that this is necessarily true because I haven't been watching the show. So they could have changed things since the last time I've watched it more consistently. It used to be, and I've said this on our show before, that you can go by the clock to know exactly when a women's match was going to be on Dynamite. You could watch the clock and know when it was going to happen. And it was going to be one appearance by women on that show. Now, if it's happening more now and it's different now, then that's great. But Mercedes is going to demand time. So if she's going to be coming out to start a show for them, which very rarely happens with women, then that's an improvement there. But does that take away from what's going on now with Toni Storm, with Deonna Purrazzo, with, when Britt Baker comes back, is that going to pull attention away from them, the people that have been there? Because that could be a problem. And I'm not just saying that for AEW. That's been a problem for other companies, wrestling companies over, WWE's had it because big stars pull viewers to them and they demand time. So that's the only cog I could see that could get into the wheel, is that she's going to demand the time. And how much time are they going to devote to the other women on the shows?
Mm-hmm.
If they do, that's excellent, because that means that you're getting more women. If they don't, it could be a problem. So, but yeah, so I'll sell it for now, just because I know it's going to increase ratings and I know people are going to watch.
Yeah.
But
see, I think because of that, Joe, I think because of that reason, because they know that her name recognition will bring eyes, I think that puts more of the spotlight on the division. So I think that's going to help. I don't want to say force the hand, but I think it's going to help make sure that not only does Mercedes get that time, but also you'll see another segment or two. I think we might even see some backstage stuff going forward. I could see them doing stuff like that too, just to continue to keep the relevance on the division and to keep people interested in what they're doing.
Yeah, okay. I could certainly agree with that. All right, there you go. So that's a sell or no sell segment for the week. Guys, did you enjoy the viewer's choice? Let me know, because we're going to keep doing that. Yeah, let us know what you thought of the spinner. And I know you like the spinner. I like the spinner too. But let me know if you enjoyed that, and we'll keep on doing that. Get you guys involved a little bit into the show. So that's always fun. So let us know if you like that. Conrad said he liked it. Very cool. That's a keeper. I think I like it. James says, great new addition. Yep, was fun, says Bunkers. All right, there you go. So very cool. Jeff thought that up. It was awesome. I'm glad you guys all like it. We'll keep doing it. All right. Jeff, I think we have a little bit of burn coming. We got to feel the burn.
Yeah, we do. We do. And what's funny is my it was so spicy. It's so spicy.
It really was.
That I didn't even upload it. That's how spicy it got.
It burned the upload. It wouldn't allow us to upload it. I can read it.
Here it is.
There it is.
Speaking of burn, this is what this person might be doing.
Yeah, this is kind of spicy. Yes. All right, the burning question of the week. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna read this in my. I'm gonna try my movie trailer voice here. You ready? Okay, we're gonna get the flames going in the background. Vince McMahon is a vile human being. What would you like TKO to do to further distance the WWE from him and the stand he's left on the industry and his legacy? There you go. There you go. Wow. Yes.
Can I just give my
really
quick response to this, because
my voice is shot now from doing that anyway. So yeah, go
because I don't have very much to say. All I'm gonna say is this: someone, wherever he goes, if he ends up going to jail or wherever else, just hand him a pair of gasoline drawers so he can be in the appropriate attire when he gets to where he's going, unless he has a conversation with the Lord, because what's come out in the allegations and in the lawsuits and everything else is disgusting. Anyone who knew about it needs to be held accountable as well. It's just vile and it's disgusting. And I, for one, hope that TKO, WWE, whoever else, does not include him in anything. I think that they should to take this to baseball, we never hear about Barry Bonds. We never hear about Sammy Sosa. By the way, Sammy Sosa has changed a lot. I'll just say.
Just made him go away.
Yeah. They don't talk about him. They don't talk about Roger Clemens. So, um, just try to remove yourself from that from that stain. I get it, and I mean, I've seen it. People have said, "Well, you can't erase the great things that he did." And listen, he did a lot for the business. But just because he did a lot for the business doesn't mean I have to celebrate him now. I'm appreciative of the things that he did to advance the business, but this type of behavior, nah, he can go kick rocks with all of that. So I hope he's held accountable. That's all I'll say. I hope he doesn't. I hope his money and influence doesn't allow him to escape without being held accountable.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. When I read the woman's statements, I was sickened, appalled, any number of. Listen, I have two daughters, and you know that that we find out today more and more about all this stuff like that happened in the past to many people. Now, this could be happening to people daily, but we tend to only hear about the when something like this happens to an actress from a director, right? That hits the news and the publications, but the things you can kind of think of in your head, that this woman is having to go to work every single day and have this happen, is absolutely just disgusting. It's just disgusting. And yeah, I know, we know it's allegations. I get that, and a lot of that's going to be worked out in the courts and all that stuff that is very much above me. But as a father of two girls, that I'm sure that woman has a father, and I'll be honest, it would be very, very difficult. And I'm not a violent man in nature, but it would be very, very difficult for me not to want that person dead. Plain and simple. And that if any of that is true, it's disgusting. It's vile. It's horrible. It's just gross. I mean, you watch stuff in the movies, and listen, I have a friend of mine who's a police officer, and he is the one who told me that when my daughter goes to college, to make sure she carries pepper spray or something around with her, because he said the sex trafficking in this country is terrible. And he said it's everywhere now. It's not just in big cities. It's not just in, and if that's the kind of thing that he was doing to anyone, you are the lowest form of life, and you should be, whatever that they do to people like that in a jail cell, he should have it coming. It's just gross. It's just 100% absolutely disgustingly gross. And I feel horrible that woman had to go through it. That's it. That's it. I'm not going to say, I'm not here to say, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not here to say who's guilty, who's not guilty, who's this, who's that. I'm not here to say it. I'll give you an example. I'm a Dodgers fan. One of their pitchers, recently, last couple of years, was sued by a woman who had claimed that he beat her up. And, he up and down fought it, saying he didn't do it, that she asked him to do it. And it just got uglier and uglier and uglier, because he tried to defame her. He was famous. She was not. Look, the way I look at it is, you hit a woman. That's it. there is no ifs, ands, or buts. His name is Trevor Bauer, by the way. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. I will never be a fan of his again. I am so glad that the Dodgers took action and dumped his ass. And I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear his story. I don't want to hear his side of it. I don't care. You hit a woman. Done deal. So yeah. Whatever Vince gets, he deserves 100%. And I'm sure this will be held up in court, litigations, all kinds of stuff for God only knows how long. Because that's what, like Jeff says, the sad part about this is he's a billionaire and money buys a lot of things. And I just hope to God that this poor woman gets some sort of something, satisfaction out of it, out of something for all of that she went through, if that is indeed what happened. But yeah.
And I want to point this out too, because this is Moda made a good point. Pray for Vince and people like this who truly have issues like this in real life. We can ultimately say what we want for him on this earth, but vengeance is not ours, it's Lord's. You are exactly right. And I think sometimes when our emotions get tied up into it, we have those reactions where it's like, if I saw the guy right now, I'd punch him in the face. But again, what he does between now and again, even if we're speaking about the allegations, if he's found guilty in court, if he's found liable, he's held accountable. What he does with his life from that point forward is between him and the Lord. And I will pray that if this is indeed true, I pray that he finds a relationship with the Lord if he hasn't already, and he repents. That's thank you for mentioning that.
And look, you're probably going to hear the thing is with this is it takes one to come out and talk about it. And then you oftentimes will hear more and more and more that will follow in the footsteps. Listen, guys, if you don't think that you can be put into this position, and I'm not just talking as a woman, but if you don't think you can be put into this position by someone with a lot of power, you're sadly mistaken. You can. All he has to do is say to her, "You don't do this, I'm firing you." And what if she needed the job? What if that was her only means of income and she needed the job that badly that she felt that she had to stay? So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, let's hope that that's the last time we ever need to speak of his name on this show. And I certainly, I know we used to make fun, and a lot of people like me doing it and stuff like that. And that impersonation, that will never be done again on our show. That's retired because I'm not, I just don't feel any kind of need to ever do that again. So that's the thing of the past, and it won't be done again. So, yeah. All right, moving on, Jeff. I think we're going to go to a little bit of a happier note here.
Yeah, much happier. Favorite moments of the week. We're
going to do some favorite moments of the week. Join us in the chat. Give us your 3, your 2, your 1. We're going to start with number 3, favorite moment of the week in wrestling. Jeff, what was your number 3 this week in pro wrestling?
Number 3 favorite moment of the week for me was seeing Naomi. Now being back to being Naomi, getting an opportunity to go into the Elimination Chamber. I'm really excited about what WWE is going to do with her. I want to see, I really want to see what's next for her. Like I feel like her time in TNA and Impact meant something. So I want to see how they how they transfer that momentum that she had from TNA into what she does in WWE.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah. I would imagine so. I would imagine that she's going to get, I'm not sure if she's going to win the chamber, but I think that it'll be pretty close. I think that she might, if it's down to Becky, maybe it'll be Naomi and Becky that are like the last two, which would be a pretty big step for her. So my number 3, my God, dude, this is probably the easiest number 3 I've ever had to name. I believe in Joe Hendry. Whenever that man does a musical number on that show, I'm all over it. And the fact that he was not even prepared for that, he got called out, not even prepared for it, and he comes up with an impromptu song, and it is freaking hilarious. It makes my week even that much better. Joe Hendry's musical moment on TNA this past week, and I can't wait to see where that feud goes in the future. That might even be a pre-show match, like Jeff had mentioned during the show on Thursday. Between those two, we'll see. But man, I'm so glad that Joe is back. We didn't see him for a little bit when he got beat up by that SOB with that laptop. We haven't seen him in a little while, but he is back and he's ready to go. And man, when he's singing, he's winning. So Joe Hendry is my number 3 moment of the week with that little ditty that he made about Mr. Francis. So, all right, let's see what we got for number 3s. Number 3, women's wrestling everywhere making moves, says Conrad. Naomi winning the EC qualifier match. Braun Breaker and Baron being NXT tag team champions. Yeah, how about that? Baron Corbin. Good for him, dude. Good for him. I always liked him. I always think he's another one of those like Ziggler corporate guys. And he just does what they want him to do. And I love that. Seth Rollins promo Monday night offering to be Cody's Huckleberry after their trilogy a couple years ago. Can they come together? Will Seth have a plan B? Jeff mentioned that a little earlier, right? Damage control segment. Braun Breaker signs with WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Joe Hendry counter song to AJ Francis. Yes. Joe Gacy being put into a straitjacket. LA Knight and Drew confrontation on SmackDown this past week. My 1, 2, 3 is easy. Kelly and Masha, Kelly and Masha, Kelly and Masha. Yes, you took one of mine, James. DM Hunk and LA Knight backstage segment. Joe Hendry is a feel-good vibe every time. Braun Breaker getting signed to SmackDown. The Wolf Dogs winning the NXT tag titles. Sometimes teams just work. The Wolf Dogs are one great team. Joe Hendry and AJ Francis, and they used AJ Styles' theme song. They did. Oh, that was so good. It was so. They set the music to AJ's old theme song. Oh, it was amazing. Was amazing. All right, Jeff, let's move on. What was your number 2?
All right, number 2 for me this week. I gotta say, I didn't get to watch it, but I saw a clip of Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker, the Wolf Dogs, winning the tag titles. And yeah, it was. I feel like Baron Corbin is, like you said, one of those guys who's not going to get a lot of love. I mean, and I get it. Most of his career, he's been a heel. So, people aren't going to cheer him on per se, but I feel like he's just one of those guys who does a great job all the time. So, really happy to see him get that opportunity.
Love it. Love it. My number 2 is someone that she's top notch in women's wrestling, but maybe has not been as much in the spotlight as we kind of would have thought she would be all this time. And I'm talking about the Becky Lynch promo that was on Monday Night Raw. Really loved what she did. Came out to the ring and was kind of just chatting up the fans and stuff like that. And then, you had the whole thing going on. It was interrupted by Nia Jax. And let me also point out, and I know people are always going to have their past thoughts about her come into play, but Nia Jax has been really silently killing it. She really has. Yep. From the Royal Rumble to now, getting herself into this, she's come in like this force of nature in the women's division, and I like it. I just think she's doing a tremendous job. And like I said, like her or not, I get it. I know a lot of people say she hurts people and she makes mistakes. Well, whatever. Put that behind you. She's doing an amazing job. But the Becky Lynch promo was excellent. Really got me fired up because Becky's kind of been, she was in NXT for a little while. She had the title down there. She's kind of been all over the place. But kudos to her, because when she has to come in and she has to turn it on and flip a switch, she does. And this is her time. And they're really making you believe or feel that, and especially if Rhea beats Nia Jax, which I'm assuming she will, really making you feel like if Becky takes on Rhea, that Rhea could possibly be that champion and take that title off of Rhea Ripley. She's had it for a while.
Mhm.
So I really dig the story. Listen, women's wrestling in WWE is just better when Becky is a part of it. That's just how it is. She's good. So many people like her. And when she's involved, it's going to be big. And if that's the main event, it's huge. If that's the women's championship match at Mania, it's absolutely huge. And like I said, yep, I loved it. I thought it was great. All right. See what people got for number 2. Tatum Paxley versus Lola Vice, says Alexa Bliss Gamer. The Becky Lynch promo. Oh, there you go, James. Seriously, 3 MLW and Wrestling Revolver. Tony Storm. Jacob Fatu finishes up at MLW and is a free agent. Oh, how about that? How about that? More of the bloodline possibly showing up? Interesting. Joe Hendry song to AJ. Braun Breaker joining the main roster as part of SmackDown. R-Truth. Oh, he is so good. He is so, we talk about him all the time. He is just so good, dude. 100%. The stuff he's involved in is comic gold. It really is. Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes promo segment. Bailey and Damage Control. It says Jesse. Tony Storm's Wet Ink movie and Deonna Purrazzo's response, I'm going to break your arm, bitch. Nia Jax doing her best work. That's facts. Yeah, she really is. Danhausen being announced for GCW. Kruger putting Jacob Fatu in a body bag. They canceled the Daytona 5. Yeah, I heard that they canceled it due to rain. The Rock joins the bloodline. It was shocking to see him turn heel. It was even more shocking to see Roman be so subservient after almost 4 years of being the Kingpin. I'd watched this closely. No one is picking the Rock promo. My number 2 is Rock and Roman segment this past Friday. Rock throwing up the L. Becky Lynch promo with Nia. All right. Time for number 1, Jeff. What do you got?
Number 1. This is honestly, I had a tough time picking this week, but I've got to go with my heart here since we didn't get to do this last week, and that's Sting. And at a very I'll just say an advanced age, being a champion, one last time before his career is done. That's awesome. That's awesome. I've always been a Sting fan, and seeing him get that moment in his final run, I really, really like that. So kudos to AEW.
Yep. Yeah, great moment. It's always great to see. Well, his retirement's coming up soon and stuff like that. Letting him get one more run as a champion is very awesome. So very cool. All right, guys. For me, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, look. When you can bring back vibes of the 90s, have him come out and just take over. And he did. Dan mentioned it. He just took over. There was going to be no interrupting of him, and the bloodline all just kind of stood there. Solo just, of course, stared at him, which is what he always does. Jimmy just stood there, a big grin on his face, and Roman took a step back. Roman didn't interrupt him, didn't say anything to stop what he was saying. And I thought it was fantastic. When he started on the people from Salt Lake City.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, what did he call them? Was it Salt Lake City sweat hogs or something? I don't even remember, but he just plastered that fan base, and then just started on him about just every other thing, and they didn't know. Like I said, they didn't know what to do. Because when you're in an event, and here's the cool situation The Rock's in, when you're in an event. And you know that this could be the very last time you go to an event that you may ever see The Rock in a ring. Or if you've never saw The Rock in a ring before at a live event, you are going to cheer. I don't care how much you hate him. You're going to cheer because you are able to now take your phone out and snap pictures of The Rock coming down to a match that you're at, which who would have thought that? right? Who would have thought that at all? And now they're able to do that. And how he spoke and then berated that audience was just classic signs of evil Rock when he used to when he was the heel fighting Stone Cold Steve Austin all those years, and Stone Cold was for the face getting the rub, and it just brought back a lot of memories, and I love wrestling for that. That was tremendous. And like Dan said, and like Jeff said earlier in this show, where is this going to go? The fact that Roman had to take a step back to The Rock, you think Roman really likes that? Probably not. Probably not. He'll tolerate it for the time being. But how long does the time being last?
Right.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. And if Roman does lose that title, well, maybe does The Rock inadvertently cause him to lose the title? And then where does it go? I love it, man. The wheels go round and round and round, and that's part of the reason why we do this show. And part of the reason why we love wrestling so much. It's fantastic. It's awesome. Absolutely love it. All right, guys, that is, unless Jesse, I saw Jesse, I saw you're in the house. If you got a couple jokes for us, we'll do them. I know it's putting you on the spot, but I did see you out there. So if you want to do a couple jokes, if you got a couple lined up, if you got like 2 or 3, it's cool. We could do that. If not, it's fine too. But this is where we would be ending the show normally. But since you're out there, I figured, hey, if you want to throw a couple out there, you're more than welcome to do so. Jen Carter, look at all these people that are showing up here tonight, man. It's like a blast from the past, like an old Insiders reunion. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Jessie says the Rock segment was her number 1 as well. Dan says Friday night the sons of William Regal and Fit Finlay met at an NXT show, and the thought of 2 of the toughest wrestlers of all time crying tears of joy watching their boys continue their legacy. Jesse's got 10. All right. You got Jesse came prepared, obviously. All right. You got to read fast, but yeah, we could do that. We'll do that. All right. Shut up, fatty, before I come and slap the herpes off your mouth. Oh my God, I know. It's so funny, dude. Tremendous. Absolutely tremendous, dude. It's tremendous. Bonus baby needs some. Wow, what came out there that I missed? I must have missed something. Not wrestling related. Going this weekend to celebrate my cousin's 1-year remission from colon cancer. Oh, that's very cool. Very cool. Jeff said that's a blessing. Wishing your cousin the best and keeping them in. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Everybody will be thinking about it. Yes, glad to hear that. You broke an attendance record for the amount of trailer park trash in one building. Oh, and in the meantime, he stopped to do, and The Rock has come back to Utah. Yeah, it's
just classic Rock.
It really is. It really is. It's so good. It's too bad he doesn't still have the hair and he can't do the curly hair while he's doing it, because that would have been even better. That would have been even better. Oh my God, so good. All right, Jesse, whenever you're ready, let's roll. I don't want to get Jeff to bed too late because he's got to get up in the morning, unlike me. So let's get him rolling. Jesse's gonna end us off with some funny stuff here tonight. So
yeah.
While she's getting prepared, again, keep in mind, please make sure you're subbed to the channel if you haven't done so already. We're getting closer and closer to that 4K mark. That's a big step for us and a big, part of the big goal here and stuff like that. So moving up is awesome. So make sure you do that. Make sure you like the stream also tonight, and make sure that you share it with some people maybe that they would like it and sub too. All right, here we go. Number 1. Friend said to me, my marriage counselor asked if it was true that I generally wake up grumpy in the morning. I said, nah, most of the time I just let him sleep. Nice. My wife would have chuckled at that one, actually. Would have been funny after he said it that the trailer trash line Stone Cold's music hit. Did you see Ford and Bel Air show where Ford took Bel Air's wig off? I've heard of the morning. I try to stay in bed and avoid it. Yeah, me too. I wish I could too. Number 2. Dude told me I haven't talked to my wife in a week. I don't want to interrupt her. Oh, that's good. I lived in Utah for a while. Rock may get banned from Utah for bringing up the 50 wives line. I visited Utah once. We were in Salt Lake City for a meeting for when I worked for T-Mobile. So I've been there once. Yeah. That's that you kind of have to watch what you say there. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it's nice there. It was nice. I didn't mind it. A little cold when we went, but it was nice. Or did he bury the wife under the garden? James Chadwick coming in hot. All right, number 3. Bruh said, I just came across my wife's Tinder profile and I'm so angry about her lies. She is not fun to be around. Oh, it's a wife and these look like they were maybe like late Valentine's Day jokes. I hiked Arches National Park. Oh, that's cool, dude. Yeah, me and a friend of mine were just talking. You guys all know I'm a big sci-fi fan. One of my favorite movies of all time is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. A friend of mine, his friend scaled that, the Devil's Tower, which is really all. I didn't know that they let you do that, but he said, yeah, he climbed it, which is really cool. I have to go. I really need to see that. I'll cry like a baby, but I really need to go and see that at some point. Number 4. Always remember, you're not completely useless. You can always serve as a bad example. These are kind of clever, Jesse. They're like intellectual jokes. I like it. Valentine's Day is a joke of its own. Yeah, my wife and I don't even really do anything to celebrate Valentine's Day anymore. We're too old. It's gotten past the point. We buying each other chocolates and flowers and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, no, that doesn't happen anymore. Number 5, teamwork is important. It helps to put the blame on someone else. Facts. Facts. Yes. Yeah. I love it. Jokic just tried to reverse dunk in the All-Star game and failed due to 7 feet tall and can't dunk. Hell. Goes back to that old saying from one of my favorite movies ever. White men can't jump. Number 6. A kid decided to burn his house down. Oh, that's awful. His dad watched with tears in his eyes. He put his arm around the mom and said, that's our son.
Good grief.
Oh, it's a good one. Yeah, it's our son. The facts of life. The facts of life. Oh, you had to remind me of that. Now the song's going to get stuck in my head. Next time you're feeling useless, just remember there was a lifeguard on duty during the Olympics. Wow.
That's a good one, too.
That's good. Number 7. At home, they treat me like God. I'm generally ignored until someone wants something. Wow.
Oh,
wow. Man, oh man. That's our
these have
son.
been good.
These have been. Yeah, the Our Son one was good. You got a lot of people in the chat with that one. They're dying on that one. Oh, Barry Monkey says, when I was a kid, my mom told me off after I first watched that movie and made a mountain out of the mashed potatoes. Did you do that? I did that too. Oh my God. That's one of my, Barry, to this day, I tell my wife that if an alien ship were to come down and pick me, that I'd go, I'm gone in a heartbeat, gone. Like there wouldn't even be a second thought. And she's like, you would leave us behind and your family? I said, in a snap. To see another galaxy, another world, I'm out. I know it's harsh, but yes, I'm out. Number 8, my senior relatives like to tease me at weddings, saying things like, you'll be next. They stopped once I started doing the same to them at funerals. Oh, you should have saved the "That's Our Son" for last. That was a good one. Yeah, the chat loved that one. That's probably
That
their
was
favorite.
that was a good one.
Remember Weird Al doing the mashup? I haven't seen UHF in years, Dan. It's on Pluto now. I haven't seen that in years. You know what I just watched? I just watched Hardware Wars, the Star Wars trailer parody. Jesse, I know you're a big fan of Star Wars. If you haven't seen that, you should really watch it. It's hilarious. They make fun of Star Wars and they use like irons and stuff like actual like pieces of, you know, like household gadgets, toasters and stuff as ships. Hilarious. It was like literally the first fan film on record that anybody ever did of Star Wars. It came out right the year right after. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Number 9. What do you call headphones that walk out on their children? Deadbeats.
These are good.
Oh, that's good. That's good. It was good, Jesse. Yeah, watch it. It's on is it Pluto or Tubi? It's on one of those free ones. Yeah, watch it. It's only 13 minutes long. It's literally like a movie trailer, but it's so funny. It is so funny. Line of the week during Willow versus Sky Blue. Stokely on commentary said, "This match getting me so hot. I'm playing with some Bone Crush after I'm playing some Bone Crush after this." All right, number 10. I child-proofed my house. Somehow they still got in. The arson one was the arson one was definitely that was Chef's Kiss. That was the best one, no doubt. The best one, no doubt, of the week.
Well done.
Agreed. Yeah, it was the best one. I agree, Joe. Aliens pull a sticks on me and ask me to come sail away. I'm gone. They're aliens. They can bring me back. Very true. Yeah, very true. And their time might not be the same as our time, and maybe like the people won't even age in the time that we're gone. Yeah, 100%, dude. 100%. Watch the skies. That was the theme of that movie, and I still to this day do. Joe, I like Robot Chicken. I like Robot Chicken too. I haven't watched it in a long time. I used to watch that when that first came out years and years ago. I loved the show. James Chadwick's got a quick one here. How do you confuse an archaeologist?
Oh God.
Give him a used template and ask him which period it came from. Oh. Wow, dude. James Chadwick coming in hot. On that note, I think we're done. James Chadwick just that's it. I mean, there's nothing I could say that can do that any better. So
no, I mean, there's really nothing.
No, I can't top that.
There's nothing you can say to.
I can't top it. See, everybody's just dying laughing now. So there's nothing I could do that can top that. So, guys, that's it. We're done for this week. Thank you for coming out and joining us tonight. Thank you for playing along with all this stuff. I'm glad you like the new category. We're going to keep on doing that, get you guys a little more involved. And hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you liked it. Again, please make sure to sub. Make sure you like the video. Make sure that you hit the notification bell to be notified about when we got the future content. This coming week, we have Abby's Abode. We'll let you know what day. Jody is on another podcast. Check her Twitter. It's, of course, it's at Jody Gilly. You'll see what podcast it is, and you can go check that out. We are back on Thursday for TNA Wrestling, of course. That is the go-home show for the pay-per-view. Start at 8 o'clock. Start time on Thursday. And then, of course, Friday, we're here for the pay-per-view starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. And next Sunday, we are right back here for another round of Between the Ropes. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great night, everybody. Stay safe. Take care of one another. Please be kind. And hopefully we'll see you all for our next one. Have a great night, guys. And we'll talk to you all soon. Good night, everybody.